For thousands of years, humankind has been fascinated by color. Transferring colors from nature to fabric has been a long journey that often goes unthought about. In approximately 180,000 BC, Neanderthal tribes used iron 3 oxide to prepare dead bodies for burial and for cave painting. This red-orange color is called a natural pigment and is an earth tone. Other natural pigments were obtained by mixing colored minerals with an adhering substance called a vehicle. Yet this was a very impractical and ineffective way of coloring fabric, as the vehicles were usually mud or oil and did not bond the minerals to the fabric well. As pigments were too easily washed out and made clothing stiff, natural dyes then emerged. These dyes were made from organic molecules that actually bonded to the textiles and had much more staying power than pigments. Tyrian purple dye was created around 1500 BC by crushing and boiling Mediterranean snails with the garment. The color from the snails was produced by the hypobranchial gland and is called 6,6-dibromoindigo. This purple was an organic compound of bromine. This color was worn by Roman royalty and was forbidden to wear if you were common folk, coining the term born to the purple. Other organic dyes were made from animals such as insects. Vegetable dyes also became prevalent as many vegetables are colorful enough to be used as dyes. The three most common were madder, woad, and indigo. Madder was a red dye that is obtained from the madder plant roots. Alizarin is the chemical in madder that produces the red color. It has been said that Alexander the Great would splatter red madder dye onto his soldiers so they looked wounded or dead to easier overcome his opponents. Indigo, or Indigo ferritinctoria, is a color very similar to woad, but its discovery came afterward. Because of this, woad dye makers lost their business and indigo was considered the devil's dye, until King George II chose indigo as the color for British naval uniform, creating the name navy blue. A quality dye must be water soluble so it can be applied to fabric. Once applied, it must bond to the fabric and become insoluble in water, so it doesn't wash out. A mordant is a compound or molecule added to a dye to ensure the dye will attach to the fabric. Mordants are commonly metal ions. Not only must the dye be water soluble, but it must also contain chromophores, which are groups of atoms in organic molecules that absorb select visible light waves by energizing the electrons. The ray that does not get absorbed is reflected to the observer as color. Synthetic dyes were discovered accidentally. In 1856, William Perkin, an 18-year-old college student, was trying to synthesize a drug used to treat malaria patients by combining aniline sulfate with potassium dichromate. Coincidentally, the aniline was contaminated with toluidine, and this combination, although not achieving his original goal, created a pink color called mauve. By 1870, the synthetic dye industry was booming, as now common folk could afford these dyes. Dyes are classified by their chemical composition, method by which they can be applied, hue, and the type of fibers they can be applied to. Synthetic dyes are derived from organic molecules and may attach themselves to fibers, be absorbed by the fibers, or interact with the molecules of the fibers. The effect the synthetic dye industry had on the natural dye industry was devastating. Although still used today for their eco-friendly benefits, natural dyes have more or less been replaced with synthetic dyes, which are less expensive, stick and last on fabric without mordants, and come in larger variety of more vibrant colors.